What's going on, everyone? So we got to see our first look at Christian Koloko for the Los Angeles Lakers against the Memphis Grizzlies game. Anthony Davis did not play. Top of that, he didn't have Rui Hachimura. And on top of that, Christian Wood is still hurt. And so it was kind of like, hey, are we finally going to get to see Christian Koloko? He was taken off the injury report. He was active, and he did. He actually got 13 minutes of action for the Lakers. And first game, so he wasn't spectacular. He wasn't like, oh my God, this is the answer. But I actually really liked and enjoyed what we saw from him. He only took 2 shots. He had 2 points, 2 rebounds, along with a block and only 1 foul in the 13 minutes of action. But it was more so his energy, his effort, him running the floor. You could see that he had no clue at times where he was supposed to be. There were like 2 instances where he was kind of just in the way. He was kind of just floating out there, which, again, is understandable. He hasn't been able to train or work out or learn the offense or system. Like, literally, he essentially came from off the street to in an NBA game. So you figured it would look a little awkward, a little clunky. I'm really excited to see what he provides once he actually gets comfortable, acclimated, learns the system, learns where he's supposed to be on the floor and whatnot. Again, most of the time he was just kind of trying to get out of the way. Where I think once he actually gets, assimilated into the offense, I think he easily, I think, could be a 8 to 10 point a game guy. I think he can give you the same type of production that Jackson Hayes gives you, like 8 to 10 points per game. And then I could see, 8 to 10 rebounds. But it's the shot blocking. I've said it before. Look at Christian Koloko, because people are always like, oh, what can Christian Koloko provide? What can he do? Look at him as if Jackson Hayes could be a rim protector, right? Jackson Hayes is not a very good rim protector, but Christian Koloko is a guy that is essentially Jackson Hayes rim protection. High energy, hyper athletic, run the floor, right? That's what Christian Koloko will give you. And I do think he can give you that on a nightly consistent basis. Obviously, again, once he starts getting comfortable and starts getting out there, talking about a guy can we just take a moment to just congratulate Christian Koloko and just applaud this moment? Because, this is something that we have seen several players just not be able to come back from in an NBA standpoint, right? Like, it's usually the end of their career. I mean, Chris Bosh, blood clots. And for Christian Koloko to essentially be out of the league because of this medical condition to now he's back and ready to play and ready to go after missing a year and a half and having that struggle, and then to step out there in 13 minutes of action and give you 2 points, 2 blocks or 2 points, 2 rebounds and a block, right? I will gladly take that. This young man deserved those moments. And he's going to continue to work hard. He's going to continue to really thrive. Definitely has a lot of work at him. He needs to put on some weight. He is like rail thin. He was getting pushed and just moved around times. So he definitely has got to put some weight on. But again, he was a project development guy a year and a half ago, right? And now he's on the Lakers as a development project guy. He's not a guy that's supposed to come in and play 35 minutes a game and have this big impact. But he is a guy that you can see being, long-term, at worst, your backup center, right? I do think that he can at least provide that at some point. But he may end up getting some real minutes here going forward, because Jackson Hayes, he ended up getting hurt towards the end of the game. He kind of tried to tough it out a little bit, but he may end up missing some time. It looks like he may have pulled his calf or hamstring. He did not look very comfortable out there after that. So if Jackson Hayes misses any type of significant time or anything like that, you have no Christian Wood for who knows how long. Anthony Davis, he's kind of dealing with his injuries and whatnot, little nagging stuff. So, I don't see the Lakers necessarily wanting to play him 40 minutes a game, right? And you're better off going with Koloko than just going small ball the whole game. So Christian Koloko may end up getting 15 minutes a night pretty regularly moving forward, at least for a little while, which is good, right? Allow Koloko to get acclimated, learn the offense, learn the system, get his legs under him. I don't want to see them put too much of a workload on him, right? Because again, he talk about a guy that you don't want to make him go from 0 to 100 because he's not going to know how to take it easy. I know some of the other Lakers look like they're not giving it 100%, but Koloko's not going to be one of those guys. Why? Because he just spent a year and a half fighting to get back on the basketball court. He ain't taking time off. He ain't taking possessions off. He's gonna give 110%. He's gonna give that effort, that energy, right? And the Lakers need it, really. That injection of just the youth and energy and effort, right? Like, so Koloko's a guy that I really do think, can have an impact on this roster. Not in the sense of like, oh, now the Lakers are a great team or a contender or we don't need a trade for a center or anything. No, Christian Koloko at best right now is your third big, right? Like if you were to trade Jackson Hayes and plug in Christian Koloko, great, right? Again, give you a Jackson Hayes that can block shots. Perfect. But he's not a guy that I would want to see right now playing 30 minutes a game unless out of just pure necessity, right? Which kind of in that spot right now. But, he's a guy that I am glad to be able to see out there on the basketball court, just giving that effort, giving that energy. He will only continue to get better. He will only continue to get more comfortable. But again, like I don't want to see the Lakers go, okay, well now here's 30 minutes and, we need you to go 110%. Because like I said, he's not going to have any chill. Right. And you don't want to see him get hurt or anything like that. Like you want to kind of wean him into it. I know the Lakers aren't really in a spot right now to do that, but you kind of don't have a choice with him. Right? Last thing you want to do is he just fought this hard to get back to being on the basketball court, and then now you're giving him too much work, too big of a workload, and he ends up getting hurt or something. Like great example is Ja last season, right? Ja Morant. Last season he wasn't able to work out in the Memphis facility. Remember, that was part of his suspension. So he was working out. Yeah, he was doing his thing and, trying to stay NBA ready and fresh. Christian Koloko was doing the same thing, but he wasn't on the team, so he couldn't go and work out and do all this stuff in all these other places, right? Like, he could only do it at, gyms that he could rent out or the local Y or whatever. And you saw Ja return and go from 0 to 100, and then all of a sudden he missed the season due to injury. Why? Because, again, you can't replicate NBA games. And no matter how much and how hard you work and all that stuff, to go from 0 to 100 in an actual NBA game it's a completely different thing. Right? It's why you see a lot of guys, like even stars, you hear the mid-season form. Oh, this guy's in mid-season form. Luka's in mid-season form. Jokic, mid-season form. Right? It's because even the superstars take time to kind of get comfortable, get out there, get in the groove that they need to get to, right? Start ramping up for the playoffs and stuff. That's why they play 82 games. And so you don't want a guy like Christian Koloko to come in who hasn't played in a year and a half, and now he's overexerting himself to the point where he ends up hurting himself. Or, you also want to make sure that health issue, yes, he's been cleared by doctors and all that other stuff, but you still you want to be cautious, right? He's a very young man that's got a lot of life ahead of him. And you don't want something to happen. We've heard the horror stories. We've heard and seen some stuff, right? Like, and you don't want Christian Koloko to be one of those guys, right? Like, you need to make sure you're doing your due diligence with him, is my only point. Now, look, I'm not saying that the Lakers aren't. I trust them that they are. I mean, they have medical staff and doctors and all kinds of stuff and all that. But, it's one thing to play 13 minutes. Another thing if, Jackson Hayes is out, Christian Wood's out. If Anthony Davis ends up missing another game during that stretch, during that time. And now Koloko's got to go and play 35 minutes tonight, right? Like, just caution. Caution is just what I want to see with him. Because I want him to be a piece for the Lakers long term. I want him to be somebody that we can, a year, 2 years from now, whatever. It's like, man, I'm so glad we got Christian Koloko on this roster, right? Like, he's a big piece. He's really helping. He's doing this, that, and the other, right? Like, you want him to be that. But we got to make sure that, we're doing right by him. But on top of that, just in general, right? Like, man, it's we need to trade for a center. We need to go get a center. There's just it's ridiculous, right? At this point. But I really did love seeing Christian Koloko out there. It was awesome. Again, he wasn't this like, oh my God, that's it. Lakers are the best team in the league. Anthony Davis and him, best big man duo ever, right? Like, it's not nothing like that. But it is something that was very exciting. I did think he, when he was out there, showed everything you wanted to see. The athleticism, the floor running, his ability to get back. I mean, he was, one of the first people down the floor every time. Like, his speed, his versatility, I'm excited to see. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Were you excited to see Christian Koloko this game? What did you make of his debut? Again, we got to keep things in perspective, right? Got to be fair. But do you think that he's a guy that can definitely be a part of this roster going forward? And do you want to see him get more time? Remember, he can only play 50 games as long as he's a two-way. Now, it doesn't mean he can't be converted at some point. But, until that actually happens, you got to kind of pick and choose your spots. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.